A reckoning with fantasy is all I could frame as my American dream. I want to wake up. I joke with my family it is the American nightmare because so few of us actually have access to it. If I am to dream, I want it to be an active dream, not passive. I think it's between Malcolm and Martin Luther King's dream. It is this thing that comes up in the daytime and not just when you're sleeping on a pillow. My American dream is one of action and relates to my ideas of work. It is not a dream that someone only speaks, it is a dream that someone acts. It is one where people are linked arm in arm, and not because it is a passive dream, but because we've had the conversations to lead us there. I do not want something that relies on peace as silence. I want a dream that screams, that is open, because again, this is a waking terror for many. I want us to wake up and dream in the daylight. I want it to be a dream where people feel like they can have their own input. That is not a dream that was written hundreds of years ago by people who look nothing like me or my mother or my mother's mother or my friend's mother, all of us brown skin and femme. What I'm saying is, I'm not mad at the American dream. I just think it is incomplete and insufficient for this future that we have tried to carve out for ourselves. There is a future, and it is not this dream. Remember, this is a dreaming. I don't like taking things that aren't mine or putting my hands on things that don't belong to me. But in this time, I will try to quote the idea of the dreaming from the Aboriginal people of Australia, is that there's not one dream, but we are all continuously in this process of creating a new world. That in our oral histories, there's something being made every day. We are all dreaming. It is not the dream, but dreaming. And that is what I want for us. Again, I keep saying an active dream, an active dream, an active dream together. But togetherness cannot be just based on a few people saying everything is better once only a handful of us have sat at a table. I don't want a table. I don't want to eat at the same table my kin have been carved up on. What I want is for us to all discuss the ugly truths of being an American and being an American with access to this current dream. What I want, what I will do and have been doing in either poetry or art or in my own studies is building us our dream, a, a mechanism to recognize this dream in radical community. It shouldn't be radical to discuss all the ways we hurt one another, but in some ways it is. And how we must be even more radical is admitting that America isn't exceptional. We must do away with American exceptionalism if America is to have a future at all. My American dream, as I've said so many times, is the removal of fantasy and coming to the harsh reality that to be an American is to be in a complicated past, present, and future, and be okay with that and the conversations to come that will lead us to this collective dream, to this collective dreaming, into a collective, bettered future.